Getting a virtual assistant for your Amazon business is probably one of the highest leverage things you could do in your Amazon business. In this video, I'm going to teach you guys exactly how to make your first hire for your Amazon FBA business. And by the end of this video, you should know exactly where to hire a virtual assistant, how much you should pay him, and what he can do for your business. If you guys don't know who I am, my name is Siraj Shanice. I scaled my Amazon business to multiple six figures in profit, reselling name brand items on Amazon. I've also helped hundreds of people start and scale their Amazon business. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get to this video.
All right, guys, this is not going to be one of those videos where, there's just a bunch of fluff and, you're just getting a bunch of information that you guys just don't need. I'm going to be showing you guys exactly how to hire a virtual assistant step by step. So before you hire a virtual assistant, what you have to understand that this is a numbers game. You're probably not going to find your best employee right now. This is a volume game. This is actual people, right? These people have feelings. These people have responsibilities, and you can't control that, right? You can't control another person's emotions. So what you have to understand is that it's going to take some time. Some people get lucky. The first person they hire, they end up being with them for about 2 to 3 years. For me, I've had my virtual assistant for about 2.5 years now. Literally, I was there when he was having his baby. So just having a virtual assistant is one of the highest leverage things ever. Before we talk about skill set or anything, the number one thing you're looking for in a virtual assistant is, would I become friends with this guy? Can I see myself talking to this guy for the next 3 to 5 years, right? Hiring a good virtual assistant is going to be hard at the start, but I promise you guys could be wrong maybe 20, 30 times. You can make 20 bad hires, but all you need is one in this game. You only need one virtual assistant that could 3x your business. This is going to be a pre-checklist before even hiring a virtual assistant. I didn't get my first virtual assistant until I hit $20,000 to $30,000 on Amazon in revenue. If you guys haven't even profited, 3 to 5K profit on Amazon, I don't think getting a virtual assistant is the best type of action to do because you haven't even mastered the business model. Delegating is not a good idea if you haven't actually succeeded with the business model yet. You can't teach something to somebody if you don't even know how to do it yourself. So these are critical questions that you have to ask yourself. Do not hire a virtual assistant until you could confidently answer all these questions. First one is, do I actually need to be doing everything I'm currently doing in my business? Is there some stuff in my business that has taken a bunch of my time? It doesn't really move the needle. It's not the highest leverage of tasks. When I mean highest leverage of tasks, I mean, is it moving my business forward, right? When I'm sourcing, I'm moving my business forward. Doing customer support, I'm also moving my business forward, but what's higher leverage? Finding more products to buy or doing customer service for your business? Customer service, bookkeeping, all the little annoying stuff that in your business that isn't moving the needle, that is stuff that you could delegate. Second question that you have to ask is, am I already successful at the task that I actually want to delegate? You can't teach somebody online arbitrage if you don't know online arbitrage. You can't tell your virtual assistant to go, hey, go use Keepa Product Finder, go source some products with Keepa Product Finder when you don't even know how to do it. It's never going to work. Your virtual assistant is only as good as you train him. If you have a virtual assistant and you can't train him, that means you're just not good enough at the skill yet. If your virtual assistant sucks at sourcing, it's either you're not good enough to be teaching that skill or you're not doing a good enough job teaching him. You're not doing a good enough job communicating that with him. And that's 2 skills that you need to have as a business owner. Third, is my business generating at least $5,000 to $10,000 in revenue consistently? Did I just get lucky once and now I just hit a 15K month and I can't replicate it? This is stuff that you have to ask yourself. A lot of people try to delegate too early just because they're lazy. They don't want to do the work, but you can't avoid the work. You can't avoid the learning curve. You can't tell somebody. And the reason why actually learning this skill is so important is because you could be paying your virtual assistant, $300 to $500 a month, and he doesn't even have to be working because you don't know the KPIs. You don't know the key performance indicators for your business. You can't have SOPs and you can't have trainings for your virtual assistant. You can't have a criteria for him. You can't tell him, hey man, I need you to find 15 to 20 products a month when you haven't even found 15 to 20 products a month. So these are questions that you have to ask yourself. And understanding when you're taking a step forward, you have to be really critical and you have to analyze yourself to the T. Can I afford to be paying a guy $400 and even sometimes $700, $800 a month? Can I afford overhead for my Amazon business? If you're in month 1, month 2, you haven't even made $5,000 to $10,000 per month and you're not even successful at the business, then is a virtual assistant, good for your current situation right now? These are questions that you have to ask yourself. And it's okay that having the humility to be like, okay, I clicked on this Siraj Shanice video. I was super excited. I wanted to have an employee for my business, but it looks like I'm not really ready yet. Let me put this in my watch later and I'm gonna scale my Amazon business. I'm gonna learn the actual skill. Then I'm going to teach my virtual assistant. Guys, remember, it's a marathon, not a sprint. You guys don't want to lose money. Some of these people aren't even profiting, 3 to 5K from their business and they're spending $1,500 on a virtual assistant. So we have to make sure we're checking these off. And also a good important thing, right? A lot of people think they're just gonna hire a virtual assistant and pay him money and then success is guaranteed. Like I said before, your virtual assistant is only as good as how you train him. If your virtual assistant is bad, that means you haven't communicated with him enough, or you're not good at the skill that you're teaching him. So 2 to 3 hours per week, I would go even 5 to 6. What I've done to have 2 virtual assistants, one is a buyer, one is a sourcer that handles all the admin work, that handles everything for me in the past 2 years. What I have done is I do 2 things. I do Loom videos, so basically videos like this, but instead of talking to the viewers and giving you guys value, I'm doing what I would do in my business. I'm just recording, and I'd be like, hey AB, I see this listing over here. Avoid these type of listings. This is an IP complaint. And I'm sending tons of these videos every single day. If I want him to learn something, I'm filming videos of me actually doing it. Then I'm explaining to him. Then I'm getting on a follow-up call right after that. And I'm like, did you understand what I just told you? He'll be like, no, I'm a bit curious about this. And then we're communicating. The number one thing in business, in life, is communicate at a high level. If you communicate at a high level, it's going to be impossible not to succeed at most of the things you want to do. So do I have 2 to 3 hours per week to dedicate to training and management initiatives? I would say 5 to 6. So this should be a chat. Right now, it's how do I figure out what do I need a virtual assistant for? So what you want to do is list all repetitive tasks that take me 5 hours per week, right? Get a sheet of paper, start writing it down. Create step-by-step documentations for each task that I want to delegate, SOPs, telling him what his job role is. You can use ChatGPT for this. What is his job role? What is he going to be doing on a day-to-day basis? Give him a checklist. And I have an SOP for you guys right now, and I'm going to show you guys what it looks like at a high level. Now let's talk about budget and payment. Do not get scammed by these guys. Some of these guys, you got to understand, these are people, the dollar is worth a lot in the Filipino, Pakistani area, so you have to understand that do not get scammed, right? Set up Wise account for international payments. These are the lowest fees. Wise is amazing. Determining starting salary based on experience level needed. My personal input right now would be, I want a virtual assistant that I can train from the ground up. I love getting new people into the business. I like teaching so they don't share leads. What some virtual assistants tend to do is sometimes they share listings. Sometimes these virtual assistants, they'll say they're working for you and they'll share the leads with 3 to 4 or 5 other people. This is why this stuff is so important. You have to have this stuff systemized. Obviously, another way is, as a business owner, this is where you really build systems and you actually turn this into an actual business, right? So obviously, budget for online jobs, it's, $69 per month. You only have to do it once, because you're going to post a job. Make sure you post a job and say it's a personal assistant, not Amazon lead. Because if you say Amazon lead, there's going to be a bunch of people that come that are working for 4 to 5 different people. If you say personal assistant and you train them from the ground up, sure, it's going to be more tedious. Sure, it's going to be a bit harder. But at the end of the day, I promise you, it's going to be better off in the long run. Obviously, setting up password manager. This is LastPass over here. This is software to let them, give access to your passwords and everything. Because obviously, a big issue on why people don't get virtual assistants is because, security, you don't want them hacking you or anything like that. Trust me, guys, there's softwares. There's so many resources out there to protect your data so things like that don't happen. That's an excuse. That's a limiting belief, right? There's obviously softwares. There's a solution. Tons of people had the same worries, concerns, and problems that you had right now, and there's a solution, right? So LastPass, make sure you have a Discord or Slack channel. I like Slack and Discord. I would say Discord. Because if you're in like a mentorship group or something, you could just keep it organized, go from the mentorship group to the Discord. I would go ahead and do that, and then set up Calendly link for scheduling interviews. You can either do a Calendly link or just send Zoom links. I like sending Zoom links. I'm like, hey man, what are you doing? You're sourcing? Let's source together, right? That level of communication, that brotherhood, or that, you want to be as tight. I'm telling you guys, this is tedious. You might think this is so hard. This could change the trajectory of your life. Virtual assistants, they help me with Amazon, but they also help me with anything with life. Talking school, taxes, organizing emails, just staying on top of everything. This is the highest leverage thing you could do. That's why I'm so passionate about this topic, because I know what it did for me. All right, guys, the better you get at systemizing stuff, the better you get at managing people, the better you are gonna be as a business owner. So this is our SOPs that we have over here. So what we're basically gonna do, we're gonna put this file in. So we're gonna go put this over here. We're gonna upload it, and this is gonna be a full step SOPs. This is how I make virtual assistants so easy as an Amazon seller. This is our rating system over here. This is what I give to our True Nice Profits mentees over here. So over here we have a rating system. This is where the number one way to learn something is obviously get feedback on it. You could be doing something for 10 to 15 years and think it's right, but you could be going the whole different direction, right? So the number one thing you need as a young person, as a human, is feedback loops, right? What is right from what is wrong. So same thing with your virtual assistant. The virtual assistant, he's gonna put the date he found the product. He's gonna put the product name. He's gonna put the ASIN, the Amazon. He's gonna put the ASIN, the Amazon URL, sales badge, cost, price. So everything is organized. He's gonna put where you got it from. So once your virtual assistant gets good, this is where Amazon gets easy. You're feeling like a business owner. You're getting up every single morning. You're not doing any work. You're just verifying the leads. You're rating it, and then you're gonna buy it. This is how you spend, thousands of dollars every single day. Now, you're not gonna get to this point at the start, but I just want to show you kind of the levels there is to, you know, this Amazon FBA game. This is our criteria over here. Minimum profit is $3. Minimum ROI is 30%. Ensure the brand does not sell. So we don't want any private label, right? Check keeper charge for IP complaints. Avoid clothing and shoes, right? Obviously you guys could do that. This is more subjective to my style of, you know, selling on Amazon. No generic branding at all. No hazmat, dangerous goods. This is just my, if you know, there's no right way to do Amazon FBA, right? This is just my criteria for my virtual assistants, right? So if you want to go sell clothes, you want to go sell dangerous goods, you can do it, right? Just edit it up, right? But this is what your SOP should look like, right? Now, rating system. This is important, and marked red is something you should, you know, so if I say no generic branding, it's in red. Verify sales are only sourced from legit websites. So use Trustpilot and Google to verify websites accurately. So we're not just buying anything, right? Now, your virtual assistant actually has a blueprint. He has a rating system. He has something to fall back on. So he can go back to our leads over here where he's going to put it, and he's going to be like, okay, Faraj gave me a 2 yesterday because, you know, the ROI wasn't there. So now I'm going to look for only stuff over 30% ROI because that is our criteria, right? Now, end of shift checklist. So we have our banned websites over here, end of shift checklist over here. This is something, so we're systemizing it. We're treating this like an actual job right now. We're not just, you know, guessing and just like trying to teach them, right? What we're basically doing right now, Amazon bought in past month before is 100+ per month, right? Everything we're doing is systemized, right? We're not just playing any guessing games. The virtual assistant is filling this out right now. So he would go from false to true and he would make a copy every single shift. So there's no way your virtual assistant doesn't get better. So next we put login info for LastPass, and then we have storefronts to reverse source. But if you have an SOP for your virtual assistant right now, if you follow every step that I told you guys in this video, but guys, this is just an example of what it takes to actually make hires for your business. At the end of the day, getting a virtual assistant is one of the highest leverage things you could do in your business. But if you follow exactly everything that I told you in this video, getting a virtual assistant is going to be so much easier. That's pretty much the end of the video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you guys want to work with me one-on-one to see how we can start or scale your Amazon business to $10,000 per month, I'm gonna leave a link down in the description to book a one-on-one demo call with me to see how we can start or scale your business. Without further ado, I'll see you guys in the next one.